Comes a moment when you look at yourself, really look, and all the stories you've been telling, the justifications, the excuses, they fall silent. You're left with nothing but the raw, uncomfortable truth of who you are, who you've been, and who you could be. It's brutal because there's no filter, no comfort in the lies you've leaned on. The past is there, heavy, staring you down, daring you to break free, to let go. And in that moment, you realize that holding on to the story of who you were is suffocating the person you're meant to become. This isn't just self-reflection, it's a reckoning. Ego death. It's one of those experiences that strips you down to the bone, leaves you face to face with everything you thought you were. And while you're in the thick of it, there's this relentless duality, a constant tug of war in your mind. One part of you is fighting to hold on, clinging to the familiar, the comfortable, the version of yourself you've known all along. But the other part, the one craving truth, the one that knows something deeper, is telling you to let go, to release every label, every belief, every piece of identity you once built, piece by piece, layer by layer. In moments like this, you feel like you're standing at the edge of an abyss, facing the parts of yourself you tried so hard to bury, the insecurities, the doubts, and the fears you've run from. And as you hover there, you realize that letting go means letting those pieces dissolve, burning away in the fire of transformation, like a death. And that's the beauty and the terror of it. Your mind keeps whispering, who will I be without these things? Without my pride, my identity, my name. But there's another whisper, softer yet stronger. Who could I become if I let go? This is the duality of thoughts during ego death. It's brutal and beautiful, a paradox that tears you apart yet feels necessary. Like a cosmic rite of passage, you're left suspended between the life you've known and a life that terrifies you because it demands everything. Total surrender. And as you do so, even the concept of you begins to lose meaning. What's left then, when you're stripped of all ego, when every story you've told yourself fades into silence? In these moments, you might catch a glimpse of something timeless, something boundless, a purity that lies beneath all the masks. And it's humbling because it's also exhilarating, because in that depth, in the raw space of ego death, you start to see beyond yourself. You realize that every thought, every impulse, and every piece of yourself you fought to protect was only a fraction of a much larger whole. It's a truth that's both grounding and shattering. As you let go, you're reminded of the sheer complexity of what it means to be human, to be vulnerable, to live within the walls of ego, and yet crave freedom from it. There's no clear line between the end of oneself and the beginning of another. It's a messy, painful, extraordinary process, a journey through dark valleys and moments of light, a balance between fear and liberation. But when the dust settles and you rise from that darkness, there's a calm, a clarity, and a beauty that's richer than anything the ego could ever imagine. And there's the paradox of ego death. In losing yourself, you find something far greater. You find the silent, steady pulse of existence that was there all along, waiting for you to remember. The past. It's a weight we carry, a story we cling to. It defines us, shapes us, haunts us. But there comes a time when you realize that the past is nothing more than a shadow, cast by what's already gone. And yet we hold on to it like a lifeline, wrapping ourselves in memories that no longer serve us, identities that no longer fit. It's as if letting go would mean letting go of ourselves, of the person we believe we are. But here's the truth. Your story, the one you keep repeating to yourself, it's just that, a story. And every time you cling to it, you're breathing life into a version of yourself that's already gone. The pain, the guilt, the regret, they don't own you. They're echoes, whispers from a time that exists only in memory. You're here now, alive, breathing. And every second you spend dwelling on what was, you're robbing yourself of what could be. Getting over the past means looking it in the face and saying, "You don't define me anymore." Surrendering the need to understand every detail, to rewrite every scene, to change every ending. It's about forgiving yourself. Not because you deserve it, because you need it. The weight of the past isn't just in memories, it's in the way you've let them shape your view of yourself. But the person you were back then, the choices you made, the things you lost, they don't hold the power you think they do. You've been carrying this burden for so long. It's woven into the fabric of your identity. And now, maybe you don't even know who you are without it. But here's the thing about letting go. It's liberating. It's brutal. It's terrifying because it demands you face the unknown, the blank canvas, the possibility of becoming someone you've never known. But in that empty space, there's freedom. In that silence, there's peace. We're not erasing the past, or we're not erasing the past, we're releasing its hold. It happened, yes. It shaped you, yes. But it's not your prison unless you make it one. The scars will remain, but they don't have to define you. Merely reminders of what you've survived, not chains keeping you bound. So, live beyond your story. Step forward without baggage. Face the future without the weight. And know that the only thing holding you back is your own fear. So, take a deep breath. Feel into the pain, the anger, the nostalgia, and let it wash over you. And then let it fade, because you don't need it anymore. You are more than the sum of what's behind you. You're everything that's still ahead. And in that vast, untapped future, there's a new story waiting. A story that isn't bound by regret, defined by mistakes, or limited by memory. It's yours to write, if you're willing to let go.